Lily Tino has just broken state law and is being pressed charges on by an alleged victim who just had their privacy breached. But as always, this conversation is so full of transphobia that picking apart the valid arguments from the bigoted ones is a task within itself. So subscribe to the channel, and hopefully, we can get to the bottom of what really happened here. But before that, I got a lot of comments in my last video educating me on, like, the southern part of the US's food culture with sugar and butter rice. So I went out and tried some myself, and as it turns out, I actually really enjoyed it. So apologies for any potentially disparaging comments I made towards the cuisine in my last video. I will say though, I can't see how you would eat it like alongside salmon or broccoli, but on its own it was pretty. I guess you could put it in a breakfast actually. That could be pretty cool. Like some bacon, some eggs, some sweet rice. It's almost like a porridge. You put some milk in it, some cinnamons. I'll do that next time. I'll put like some condensed milk and some cinnamon in there as well. As you can see, we're very cultured on this channel, so be sure to subscribe for the culture. And now let's talk about Lily Tino, who was just returned to Disney, the unhappiest place in the world.
So last year I made a video that a lot of people got upset by, where I talked about some things in Disneyland. A lot of y'all thought that video would get me banned from Disney, so let's see if that's true. I'm at the Disney World entrance, about to try and get in, so let's see if that video really did get me banned.
I feel like if you were banned from Disney, you'd probably know. Like, they'd probably send you an email, they'd kick you out or something. There'd be some... Here's the thing, right? This is more classic rage bait from Lily Tino, or just sort of engagement farming, because she knows, realistically, that she isn't banned from Disney and is just trying to sort of rile people up, get people interested, and pique the viewership, because they're like, ooh, is she gonna get kicked out? Is she gonna get fucking thrown onto the side of the street by the Disney employees in the most magical place on earth? Who's like a big brolic Disney character? Gaston. Is Gaston gonna fucking murder this woman? It's like, no, the answer is no. People in Disney probably have bigger fish to fry than Lily Tino rage baiting on TikTok for everyone to see. They're not on the lookout. They're not sat there like, oh, you know, we need to keep an eye out for potential assaults, potential discriminatory language, or people not feeling welcome, or, you know, robberies maybe. Oh, and also that one TikToker, Lily Tino, who talks about some inappropriate things every now and then. You know, saying out loud, would banning Lily Tino be like such a bad thing? Because they weren't exactly respecting the space that they were in. I don't think I would be too mad if Lily Tino was actually banned from Disney, but I understand why, you know, they weren't banned from Disney as well. With what happens in today's video, though, I feel as though there is a lot more reason to actually ban Lily from Disney, because they went and broke both the rules of Disney and the law in the state that they're in, Florida. And man, to be a rule breaker in Florida is like, whoa, Nelly, you really need to fuck up. The way that America sees Florida is like the way that everywhere else on Earth sees America. Anyway, let's finish this video here.
So it would be really unfortunate if that happened at this point. It's not a very long line to get in. Sweat on the brow. That's how I'm nervous. It's exciting. I love Disney. Okay, so I just beep it here. Put the finger there. Oh, further in. I'm allowed in? I'm not banned from Disney. Wow. Huge news. Thank you. Y'all, I'm back. I'm back, baby. Can't keep me out of Disney. Marshmallow wands, cake pops. Let's go. I'm here.
Why are they acting like they're just fucking Naruto and they've returned after the 2-year... This is like Lily Tino Shippuden here. Disneyland Part 2. I'm back, bitches! Yeah, that's right. Here to talk about penis and vagina. It's like, you're not really doing an extraordinary... If you had entered Disney World to, like, kill a mascot or, I don't know, break a world record of some sort, fair enough, I understand the excitement, but you're just gonna talk about some inappropriate things around children and rage bait people again. The bloke at the reception was very nice, though. Disney employees are very nice. I don't think I had one unpleasant experience when I went to Disney World. Like, well, employee-wise, obviously some of the people there were quite rude. But then again, it's like, when you're surrounded by tens of thousands of people, obviously, not everyone's gonna be a fucking saint. So this is the thing, right? Because about those original videos of her in Disneyland talking about, you know, the corn dogs or the cake pops or whatever the fuck, I actually want to be very careful this video, because I feel as though a lot of people really do over-sensationalize a lot of the shit that Lily Tino does, and make it seem almost like predatory in a way. Oh my god, you're doing this around children? This is like, oh, this is creepy, and it's like, it's inappropriate, yes, it's rage baity for sure, but let's not make this something that it isn't purely because it is someone in a minority group, right, which a lot of people are doing. Now, that does not eradicate any potential criticism from Lily Tino, because the fact is, the reason you're doing this in Disney World is because you know it will get people angry, rightfully so, because you are around children, and it's not an appropriate thing to talk about, or like this loudly, around tiny babies. It's not predatory, but it is inappropriate inappropriate, right? That is a more valid term for the behavior here, inappropriate. Because you could just do it at home. Like, you could do it at home. If you're in Disney World, do videos about Disney World, about the rides, about your experience there or whatever. You don't need to do your videos about anatomy and being transgender in Disney World, and the only reason you are doing that is because it's rage bait. You know it'll get people angry, and people who want to make people angry for a living, I feel as though just aren't people worth following. Anyway, Lily Tino goes to the bathroom, or as we call them, toilets. Yeah, we call the entire room the toilet, which is strange, actually. One of the few times I actually think the American usage of words makes more sense than the one over here. I don't like restroom, though. Bathroom makes sense. Actually, no, because there's no bath in the bathrooms. Like, if you go to a public toilet, there's no baths. But there are toilets. So maybe our word does make more sense. Restroom definitely doesn't, because if there's one thing that I don't do in those rooms, it's bloody rest. So I've since been informed that a restroom and a bathroom are two different things, and that a restroom is essentially a bathroom without a bath in it. Although, to be fair, the only reason I was calling them bathrooms is because Lily Tino was, and she's an American, so if anyone was supposed to know, it'd be her. But anyway, Lily Tino went to the women's bathroom in Disneyland and made this TikTok. This is like foreshadowing. This is where the drama begins, right?
I don't know what the deal is with bathrooms. You know, Florida is really conservative. I don't know what the rules are. Trans women are allowed to be in women's bathrooms, but I'm about to go and use the bathroom because I have to tinkle. If I get stopped, I guess, but I'm a woman, so I'm going to use the women's bathroom, and being in Florida or being in California or wherever isn't going to stop me. So I will report back in a minute once I have hopefully tinkled without issue.
3 minutes later.
That went as well as it could have gone. No one gave me any weird looks. Definitely no one stopped me.
I don't like the word tink. I mean, fair. I'm glad that they didn't, they felt comfortable in the toilet. That's good. I'm genuinely happy for them. But I just personally, and this is not like a huge criticism. I just don't like the word tinkled. I'm like, you're a fully grown person. TikTok is not going to ban you for saying piss or wee or pee or shit even. If you're allowed to talk about pussy and cock in Disneyland, then you're allowed to say piss. Just once again, I feel as though the usage of words like tinkled is just part of this whole manufactured rage bait content. There's no way she doesn't know that saying tinkled is gonna get on some people's nerves.
I peed standing up, which is something I'm sometimes a little self-conscious about with the sound. Think, oh, is there someone peeing standing up there? But you know what? I peed standing up, and it was fine. And then I washed my hands and I left. And you know what? On my way out from the women's bathroom, I took a quick picture with someone who recognized me, and it was lovely. So overall, Disney World in Florida, 10 out of 10 women's bathroom experience for trans women.
I mean, yeah, sure, the rest of that TikTok. Oh, fuck off, brother! What do you want, fam? I'm recording.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. Lucas, this is my IRL brother here. He's gonna say something really funny. I'm putting a lot of pressure on him now. Say something funny, because you ruined my take.
Who are you in a call with?
I'm not in a call with anyone, I'm recording, you dumb fuck!
Oh, you're still recording. Oh, okay.
Why didn't you listen to me? He never listens to
No,
me.
yeah, but then you started
Say
talking.
something funny. This is this is their first fucking introduction to you. Alright, you're taking too long, bye. And that's my brother, man. He fucked it. He had all the chance. No, he fucking stopped calling me. Yeah, as I was saying, the rest of that TikTok isn't offensive at all. Like, honestly, this is not actually a bad TikTok. Like, it's fine. It's just the word tinkle annoyed me, really. But this is the video that has stirred up so much controversy and drama because it is the one where she breaks the law. So, it's her rating all of the women's bathrooms in Disney World. So you got the Magic Kingdom one, fair enough. That was the first one that they did. Tiffin's Restaurant, they got misgendered right before the pic, so the vibe was off. World Showcase entries are 10 out of 10. Epcot bathrooms, 7 out of 10. Mate, Epcot pissed me the fuck off when I went to Disney. Because in my mind, Epcot, you spend so much money on like food, experiences and shit, it wasn't even worth it. I feel as though Epcot is a kingdom in Disney World that should be open to everyone, like at certain times. But if you're a ticket holder, then you can just enter, like, first, if that makes sense. But you shouldn't have to buy tickets, like an extortionate amount of money to buy tickets just to enter a kingdom and spend so much more money. The other 3 kingdoms, fair enough for ticket holders, but Epcot, I feel like they need to do something there, because that is a pure scam. Look, I'm not going to go through all of them, right? It's just, you get the idea. It's a bunch of bathrooms, and she's rating them based on how comfortable she felt, I guess. Now, the issue here is that in a lot of these photos, there are actually people in the background who obviously didn't consent, or in some cases probably aren't even knowledgeable or know that pictures of them are being taken, and they most definitely don't know that those pictures will then be shown to millions of people on an extremely public platform. Like, it's one thing if you see someone in the bathroom taking pictures and you're sort of like, whatever, I'm sure this won't go anywhere. Unbeknownst to you, sometimes it could be someone like Lily Tino who has a public platform of millions of people that pay attention to them. And if you were to go on TikTok one day and see yourself there and millions of people are watching you in a position situation that maybe you didn't want to be in, or at least be in publicly, I understand why you'd be very uncomfortable with that. And that's why people were criticizing Lily Tino. They were like, I can't believe you would take photos in the bathroom like this. It's a very clear invasion of privacy, to which she responded with this.
And if truly that happened, right? If truly they wanted to say it was against the rules for you to take bathroom selfies, that will ultimately be a good thing. You sent not like that I'm happy to be in trouble that way, but this is what it is being an advocate. Okay, this is like my goal in taking those pictures was to normalize trans women using the women's room.
Let's not pretend as though anything Lily does is actually for trans rights. Well, I'm sure some of it is, but not in Disneyland. The whole point of the Disneyland videos is to rage bait, is to be obnoxious and rage bait people. There's nothing in, like, the whole Disneyland experience that is actually intending to make life easier for transgender folk. In fact, there are thousands of transgender people who are literally begging you to stop acting like an obnoxious rage baiter because it reflects bad on the rest of the community. And your unwillingness to play ball or listen to those critics, even critics in your own community, I feel as though unmasks your actual intentions here, which is just views, money, and rage bait.
That kind of thing doesn't happen without friction. It doesn't happen without friction, okay? If Florida, as a state, wants to make a stink about it, they certainly are welcome to. But ultimately, they'll have to know that if they do that, that will do nothing but draw more attention to the issue, right? Which ultimately they might want to do. But these aren't the kind of things that people like truly go to prison for. These are the kinds of things that you see news articles about, right? Like trans woman, you know, in trouble with Florida after blah, blah, blah. And like it would be a public debacle. And that's good. Because we want that conversation out there.
Part of that is facts, I guess, yeah, that this is not the type of crime that people go to prison for. It's the type of crime maybe you get fined or banned from a place or some news articles are made, but nah, you're not going to get arrested for taking a photo in the women's bathroom. What might happen, which is what's happening here allegedly right now, is someone in those pictures might realize that they've been taken a picture of and their privacy's been breached and put in front of millions of people, press charges against you, and you may need to pay them a certain amount of money. But I feel as though it's quite manipulatively phrased here, what Lily's doing, because they're making it seem as though, well, of course, when you're an advocate for something and you're fighting for rights, there's going to be some friction alongside that. There's going to be people who fight back against you, which is true, right? That is something that all, you know, activists have to go through, right? There is friction, otherwise there'd be no need for activism or to fight for anything. But using that argument here makes it seem as though everybody who is critiquing Lily Tino is trying to fight against transgender rights, which just isn't true. And to phrase it that way is incredibly disingenuous, especially because you know that's not what's happening here. I truly don't think that they even believe that. They're just saying this once again to make people angry. It's almost as though she is actively calling all criticism towards her as friction against her wider statement of transgender acceptance, including the criticism that comes directly from the transgender community and allegedly what she wants as well. Now, I've actually got a lot more to say about this, but I feel as though we'll get into like the thick of the whole drama first, and then I've got some monologues to go on, so stay tuned for that. So this here is without doubt the worst argument that Lily makes in defense of herself.
Disney bathroom selfies got y'all real upset, huh? Saying, oh, Lily, you can't take selfies in the bathroom. It's not appropriate. Well, let me remind you that literally every celebrity you've ever enjoyed on screen has at one point taken a bathroom selfie. For example...
Now, I'm sure it does not take a genius to decipher the issue with her pictures as opposed to their pictures, right? It's very, very, genuinely, extremely easy. Stevie fucking Wonder could even decipher why this is a horrible argument, and that's that there is nobody in those pictures other than the person who is taking the picture. Anybody who is criticizing Lily Tino for merely taking photos in the bathroom is frankly an idiot and probably transphobic. Because the issue isn't that photos were taken in the bathroom. The issue is that photos were taken in the bathroom with other people in those pictures who did not consent to being in those pictures, and then those pictures were posted on a public platform for millions of people to see. You've not assaulted anyone, it's not physically harmful in any way, but it is a breach of privacy that is worth apologizing for, and, you know, those photos should probably be taken down as well out of respect for the people who don't want to be involved in them. I've heard some people talk about about how, in a weird roundabout way, this is technically an assault because they didn't consent to being in this. Just shut up. Let's not make this something it isn't, because it just weakens the entirety of the argument as a whole. It's not an assault. It's just a breach of privacy. It's not good. Fuck me. Can we just not over-sensationalize this bullshit? Because all it does is weaken the genuine criticisms that do need to be taken seriously.
Any woman you ever meet has likely taken a photo in a public bathroom. Why, you ask? Because we look cute and we want to document it. So what is different about me that I'm not allowed to take bathroom selfies? The easy answer here is, oh, Lily, you're a trans woman, so you get held to a different standard. And that is true. But people judge trans women differently depending on how well they pass. If you pass, that means you don't look trans. I know that I don't pass. Trust me, I know. But passing privilege is a real thing. There are some trans women out there who, no matter how hard they try, will never be able to pass. Do those trans women deserve to be treated differently? No.
Yeah, once again, just acting as though she's being criticized for merely taking photos in the bathroom and turning it into something that it really isn't, right? The people who are criticizing you are not, it's nothing to do with passing privilege. It's purely that you are posting people who don't want to be posted. And some people might think like, oh, when you live stream in Disney, people are going to be in the background of that. The bathroom is different. Like, the bathroom just is different. I'm sure you don't need me to explain why the bathroom is different, but it definitely is. That's why it's against the law. Speaking of which, here's a TikTok that explains both the laws and rules of Disneyland.
Now we have one person that has officially come forward to press charges against Lily Tino. By now, we all know Lily Tino went to Disney and went into the women's restroom and took selfies with other women and children in the background without their consent, and then came on TikTok and posted and rated every single bathroom experience. I made a video talking about the fact that that was illegal in the state of Florida, much less, not to mention, it's also against Disney policy to take photos within the restrooms. She has now come on TikTok and has stated that she is going to be pressing charges against Lily Tino and possibly Disney as well. And personally, I hope that she wins. I hope she wins the heck out of a lawsuit. And who knows, she could potentially save many women.
See, this is what I mean. This TikTok is okay. Like, it explains it pretty succinctly, but saving women, it's like, fuck me. It was a picture of someone in a bathroom. No one is being saved here. Sure, I can get behind this might help women or people, right? If you said that, I wouldn't have many qualms, but save makes this something it isn't, right? Lily Tino is not a danger. Right? She isn't a physical threat to anybody in these bathrooms. She's not gonna sort of drive people towards a horrific mental state that, I don't know, maybe behooves them to do something horrible to themselves. It's not quite to that level, like. I'm sure there are some specific instances where taking a photo of someone inside a bathroom does lead to more horrific and catastrophic circumstances than, usual. And that is part of the problem here, is that Lily Tino has no idea who the people are in those photos that she is posting. Like, it could be somebody who is, in fact, in a very depressive mental episode or really doesn't want to be put online in comparison to the average person who, even the average person doesn't want to be put online. That inability to know anything about the people that you are posting on your public platform is largely the issue here. But yeah, I just don't want to be caught using words like, oh, this is going to save women when Lily Tino gets sued, because, like, I don't want to be part of this over-sensationalist bullshit.
And she may even become a women's advocate, which I can get behind too. I'm gonna tag her account down below. Y'all go follow her.
I believe their account has actually been privated. I'll give it a check now to see if it's still private. Yeah, private for now, so whoever it is has privated their account for some reason. Not too sure why, but it's not all that important. This is the photo here, just to make it absolutely clear that they are being pressed charges for, and yeah, I mean, fair enough. It's a pretty clear view of that woman there, who we will blur in this video just out of respect for them. They clearly do not want to be on the internet like this. It's not as though you got their fucking, their kneecap in the picture. Like, that is like their entire body is there. And I believe their daughter is also in this picture, but just a little bit more covered up. Here are the 2018 Florida statutes, some video voyeurism that very clearly state that this action is in fact illegal and is considered a felony in the state of Florida, which once again, I mean, to be an actual felon in Florida, you really need to fuck up, like. But then again, it is Florida, which is why this probably won't go anywhere realistically. Like, I feel like, again, I've used this term a lot, but Florida probably has bigger fish to fry than a transgender woman taking photos in the bathroom. Fucking hell, this petition to remove Lily Tino from TikTok has over 400,000 verified signatures. There are more people who want Lily Tino removed from TikTok than are subscribed to this goddamn YouTube channel. And that right there is a fucking crime. If I don't gain 200,000 subscribers as a result of this video here, oh golly goodness, I will be sorely disappointed. Now fucking I'll have to do something horrible. I'll have to cause some malarkey in your life, particularly. I'll steal all of your, I can't do anything too horrible, but I'll fucking, like, I'll take your, you know the bottom of your kettle that, like, boils the whole thing? I'll take that, but you can keep the kettle, but I'll take that little bit on the, like, at the bottom. That would really inconvenience you, wouldn't it? So if you care about the base of your kettle, then subscribe to this goddamn YouTube channel. Okay, so there's also some other stuff that involves J.K. Rowling, because fucking of course, but before that, I want to talk a little bit more about Lily Tino just as a whole. I'll click on any random TikTok on her account, and I'm sure we'll get comments that I've been seeing recently. So this comment has been copy-pasted across any video involving Lily Tino online, as well as Lily Tino's videos themselves. His name is Nicholas Continio, and he is cosplaying, not transitioning. He's 100% rage bait at this point. Lily Tino is just a character he plays. I'm so glad one of the women he caught on camera in a Disney bathroom is looking for a lawyer to sue. Plus, both Disney and Florida have rules and laws against recording people in bathrooms, reasonable expectation of privacy in those spaces. They don't count as public per se in a court of law. Now look, the last 2/3 of that comment is like, fine, fair enough, whatever. But the first line I have some issues with. He's cosplaying, not transition. He's 100% rage bait. It's a character that he is playing, right? They're using he. I'm not actually saying that. Look, here's the thing, right? In today's world, I feel as though we've developed an economy of young people who feel as though they need something about themselves that they can coin as unique. Like a lot of people will say they have ADHD or autism and overstate those parts of their personality. There's definitely some people who are performatively non-binary or bisexual, for example, which I know is a little bit of a risky statement to make, and that's not me discrediting people who are bisexual or neurodivergent or non-binary or transgender, but there are definitely people who perform those aspects of their lives. Another really common example that I probably should have mentioned is people pretending to have been brought up harder or poorer than they realistically were. I'm sure there's plenty others too, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to say here. I don't think Lily Tino is one of those people who is performing or cosplaying. Like, when you go back on their account, it is very clearly a transgender person who has taken steps towards transitioning, and yes, they are 100% rage baiting at this point, but that's not to say that they don't care at all about issues of transgenderism. You can be both transgender and a fucking arsehole at the same time. It doesn't make you not transgender. Like, if there was a cisgender woman who was really fucking annoying and rage baity, you wouldn't all of a sudden go, oh, you're no longer a woman, you're a man now. Or if there was a black person who was really rage baity and annoying and a fucking arsehole, you wouldn't go all of a sudden, no, you're not black anymore because you're rage baity. It's like, no, you're still black, you're just a fucking arsehole. In the same way, Lily Tino is still transgender. You cannot take that away from them. Who am I to say whether or not someone is transgender? I don't think they're faking being trans. I just think they're a fucking annoying arsehole. This here I feel like is harmful to transgender people because it makes it seem as though, like, oh, if you're transgender and you're not the most likable person in the world, we don't consider you transgender anymore. And another thing I feel as though is almost unfair on Lily Tino's behalf is that she is almost seen as a representative of the transgender community, which I understand because she's such a huge sort of presence there, and there are a lot of very ignorant people who do see her as, like, or associate her with the rest of the community, right? It reminds me a little bit of the recent stuff, like when Sabrina Carpenter's new album cover was released, and a lot of people had this issue where, because she, in their minds, represents a lot of women, her dehumanizing herself, like she did in that album cover, will be ultimately harmful. In my mind, it's like, how much onus or responsibility does Sabrina Carpenter have to represent other women, right? And not just herself. Because anyone with any media literacy can tell that the album cover and the whole concept of it, Man's Best Friend, is ironic, right? She doesn't actually see herself or objectify herself in that way. It's ironic. Obviously, and this is true, a lot of people won't see the irony in it or just don't care about that. Mostly men, obviously. So my question is, how much responsibility does she need to take for the ignorance of other people? In the same way, Lily Tino is only seen as representative of the transgender community as a whole because very ignorant, stupid, transphobic people see her as representative of the whole community, when anybody who can think rationally even slightly sees her as a representative of herself, right? She is an arsehole and she has nothing to do with the rest of the community, because why would she? As much as it is a very valid statement to make that she does represent the whole community, because there are many stupid people who see her as a representation of the community, it doesn't make that statement any less unfair. It's true, but it's not fair. And for that, I feel like there needs to be some sympathy. But then again, I'm not sure if there does need to be as much sympathy on Lily Tino's case, because I feel as though she is using that ignorance to her advantage, as opposed to someone like Sabrina Carpenter, who isn't using the ignorance to their advantage necessarily, but just wants to create the art that they feel as though fulfills them, and is unfortunately, as a byproduct of said art, potentially damaging people because of said ignorance, if that makes sense. I think I've changed my mind on the Sabrina Carpenter stuff, by the way. I don't want to go too off topic here, but I said something that I disagree with, so I want to just clarify here. After thinking it over, I'm starting to question how much of it was actually Sabrina's idea herself and not her marketing team, who I feel as though wanted to make the album cover something like this to appeal to both a certain group of men who are interested in that type of thing and don't care, / don't know about the irony, but then also use irony as an excuse to fall back on, in the hopes that Sabrina's core fan base would also be interested. So I think they were trying to play to both crowds and be really sneaky there. I definitely overestimated how much of it was, like, artistic integrity. I think it's a lot more corporate than I gave it credit for in this recording. But yeah, that's that. I don't want to go too off topic. Back to the video. The whole thing is a very complicated topic, and I'm not sure if I could vocalize my thoughts on it as fluently as I might do in maybe a couple weeks or so, but this is some relatively half-baked thoughts that I'm just having now. If I'm saying anything ignorant or that you think is bullshit, then feel free to tell me in the comments, because I am genuinely very open to the conversation. I think it's a very interesting conversation to have. And yeah, man, I'm not entirely too sure what I think. I'm just sort of spitballing here. It's a little bit of a thought experiment. Another one of the comments that is being mass spammed that I have a lot more of a solidified opinion on is this one. Lily Tino has a long history of disturbing behavior that shouldn't be ignored. Before transitioning, he was fired for sexually harassing a female co-worker who rejected him. He stalked her for months until HR got involved. He also has multiple SA allegations dating back years. Now, I've, done my research. I've tried to find this alleged evidence or case of a harassment or whatever they're calling it, and I can't find it anywhere. I have no reason to believe that this isn't just a made-up fucking story to dog on someone that they dislike personally, and once again, this is extremely harmful because it just reinforces the very widely held opinion that transgender people are intrinsically predators or are doing it for some nefarious reason. Like, there's a lot of fucking idiot transphobic people out there who once again see transgender people as like, ooh, you're not transitioning because you have gender dysphoria and don't feel comfortable in your current body, you're only transitioning because you want to get closer to the other gender, you fucking creep. And it's a very, very harmful stereotype that I feel is only being pushed with most likely false allegations like this. Like, I cannot find any evidence of these allegations at all. Lily nearly tricked TransOF creator Kelly Bean into filming filming corn. There's be nothing wrong with that. It's a little farming documentary. Obviously, I know what they mean, but in my last video, we talked about this. It was a bunch of fucking bollocks. Just because Lily Tino is an arsehole, it doesn't mean that bullshit allegations need to be believed. They planned to make TikToks, but Lily pressured her into filming for his OF and then gaslit her when she refused, saying she gave the impression she was down. I mean, yeah, we covered this in my last video about Lily Tino, so if you're interested in that situation, I'd recommend you give that a watch. It was a bunch of bollocks in my personal opinion. He films at Disneyland where kids are always present and makes inappropriate comments about his body, marshmallow/stick in that setting. Some of those videos use bright colors and child-friendly language that clearly attracts children's attention. I think that's a relatively fair critique. Like, if you want to be angry at her for that, then sure, fair enough. I just don't like the misgendering here. They're still transgender. Just because you don't like them, it doesn't make them not transgender. He's falsely claimed trans discrimination for clout. At one restaurant, he acted like he was kicked out for being trans when staff politely asked him to move from a table needed for a larger group. That place got death threats and the manager was fired. I'm not too sure about the death threats or the manager being fired. Once again, I just don't know if that's true or not, and I've looked it up and there isn't really any evidence for it. He's also been caught using slurs like the N-word and continues to show zero respect towards women, treating them as objects. There is a video of Lily Tino using the N-word, but it was very obviously a mistake. I don't think they meant to do it on purpose. However, they should definitely apologize for doing it, even though it was just a mistake, and not doing so is rather hypocritical in my opinion, because a lot of people misgender Lily Tino, once again, by mistake, and she is not happy unless they apologize. Even when they do apologize, she's still very unhappy. So if you're not willing to apologize after saying a slur like the N-word, why should you expect people to apologize to you when they misgender you? It's very hypocritical in my opinion. Obviously, if someone misgenders you, they should apologize, right? They should apologize, not profusely, but just like, oh, sorry, mate, and then move on. But if we're using that same logic, when you say the N-word, even if it is accidental, you also need to fucking apologize for it. For those who haven't seen the video, it was a video of, her dog's name is Nugget, and she was saying Nugget's name, but accidentally said the N-word. It was sort of like a stuttery usage of the word, right? I don't think it would. There's no way it was. Why would she purposefully use that word on live? It would be a horrible business decision. Lily Tino is not someone who should be seen as a representative of the trans community. That I definitely do agree with. But yeah, I feel like it's pretty clear at this point. I'm pretty fucking annoyed with how people treat this situation because it is so over dramatized, over sensationalized. It's like classic fucking TikTok bollocks. Let's just call it as it is, right? Let's not play games here. Let's just be fucking adults and say what we see and not anything more than that. Because all you're doing when you dramatize this bollocks is really weakening the actual genuine criticisms of Lily Tino that do exist and potentially, unknowingly, harming the trans community as well. Anyway, J.K. Rowling. This man's bathroom photos are trophies. He wants women and girls in the background because it proves he's violating women's boundaries. Without actual females there as props, all he's got is a selfie of a scary-looking creep in mouse ears, which isn't remotely what he's after. I mean, the obvious misgendering is just classic J.K. Rowling bollocks, but the whole thing about them purposefully putting women and children in the background of the picture to expose them or breach their privacy, I don't think is necessarily true. I just think that they didn't care or think about it, which doesn't make it any better, by the way. It's just what I think happened. Maybe it does make it slightly better than if they were intentionally trying to breach people's privacy, but it doesn't justify it, if that makes sense. But yeah, man, it's fun. When J.K. Rowling has a go at you, it almost makes me want to defend her.
First Elon, now JK. I wear it as a badge of honor. Thank you, Angel. Yeah, look it up. Go to J.K. Rowling's Twitter. Do it. I did used to be a fan of her. I was a Harry Potter fanatic. I was. Please screenshot it, Rachel. And there's a couple of them, right? There's a couple of them. Has J.K. reached out to my team? You know she hasn't. Believe it or not. But it's not fair for trans women to carry the burden as being seen as spectacles. I mean, I don't think that's even necessarily true.
There you go. It's pretty fucking wild, to be fair, that J.K. Rowling is talking about Lily Tino. I guess it just goes to show how huge they've become. I don't doubt they wear it as a badge of honor. It's like, yes, I've been fucking recognized by J.K. Like, I'm really, really getting people angry here. Both transphobic douchebags and also the transgender community that I am pretending to help. It's like, I just can't think of anyone who is hated as much as Lily Tino. Because every single community of people dislikes Lily Tino for a variety of different reasons. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely fans of hers, which I feel like a lot of people neglect. When someone has that many followers, same with like Ashley Trevino and stuff, when someone has that many followers, that many people watching them, there's definitely a lot of people who are genuine, actual fans of the person. You know, it's not as though everybody is watching Lily Tino just to get angry or hate on her.
My corn dog is still intact. I'm not happy about that, but sadly it takes a long time to turn a corn dog into a inverted corn dog. I do hair removal every week for 2 hours straight. It is not fun or easy, but once that is finally done, hopefully by the end of the year, they are going to take my corn dog. These ears do not want to stay on. They are going to cut it down the middle. This is not the best knife for this. They will then take off the outer lining of the corn dog. Okay, I'm actually impressed that I'm doing this good of a job. Like so. Flip it inside out and make something of a tunnel. This tunnel will then become, well, you know, my hands are disgusting. Now you might be asking why I would do this or why anyone would do this. It sounds not fun. And I agree with you. I'm not looking forward to that recovery process. But know that this is not a decision that any of us take lightly. Our corn dogs do serve a purpose, but at the end of the day, I just don't like having it. It's not me. I look at it in the mirror and it's like, ugh, can we do something about that? And it turns out we can. But until then, I am making the most of my final days with my corn dog. Farewell to this thing that has served me not very well, but is what I was born with. It did its duty. R.I.P. I'm good.
Definitely isn't good, but I had a corn dog in America, and I was my expectations were so high. I was like, yes! I've heard about corn dogs all my fucking life, and like in cartoons and shit, they were built up as this incredible piece of confectionery, and I had one, and it was so unbelievably underwhelming. I was genuine. It ruined my day. I'm not even gonna lie. And then it started raining afterwards, probably because of my disappointment. Florida rain ain't that bad though. I actually like the Florida rain because it's hot rain. Like it rains, and then when it's not raining anymore, it just sort of dissipates, and you're not even wet because it's so fucking hot. It's actually quite nice. But yeah, either way, man, it's like these videos in Disneyland about the corn dogs and the cake pops or whatever, I have the same opinion that I've mostly always held, which is like, it's actually quite interesting. The content of the video and the way that it's being described genuinely could be a useful learning resource for people who want to learn about transitioning or the surgeries or the procedures that are required for said process. The issue that I and many other people have is just that it's in fucking Disney of all places, and it's very obvious why she's doing it there, because she's a fucking obnoxious radio rage baiter. Just do it at home. You can get the exact same point across at home. It would even be a good thing. If you have the opportunity to do a good thing that people will be happy with, a lot of them, and you like are deliberately choosing to make people angry, then that goes to show your intentions here. It's not to educate people, it's not because you care, it's because you want to piss people off.
Cool.
The bottom is from Thailand.
Coconut bread from Thailand.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes,
Ma'am.
And the middle one is from India. It's the papadom with the gingerbread chutney.
Okay.
And the third is from Brazil. It's a cheese bread with the guava sauce.
Thank you. Just like totally sucks the joy out of this bread tower. Makes me want to immediately like leave because I no longer feel like safe here. It's like, oh, my guard now has to be up. I'm not going to enjoy this bread as much because my guard is up. We should be able to go places and not have to worry. I don't think I really want this bread tower, actually. I think I'd rather have the check if that's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the training. We're supposed to say friend or just not use gender. It's like a pretty big thing that Disney did. Nothing was wrong with bread. I just don't want it anymore. Just because they apologize doesn't mean she doesn't feel sad or offended. Exactly, right? Like, if you've accidentally ever hurt someone and say, I'm so sorry, it was an accident, do you expect them to be like, oh, it was an accident? Of course, no problem whatsoever. All of that hurt is now undone. That's not how it works.
Sorry about what happened.
It's okay. I would love to pay for the drink, please.
No, the drink is on me too. So.
You don't. Are you sure?
You're good.
Thank you
Sorry
very
about
much.
that.
They meant well, but it still hurts as the caption to that video, and you know what, it's fair enough, really. No one can tell someone who is offended how to react in a situation like this. If you genuinely feel uncomfortable and that you want to leave and not eat the food anymore, fair enough. And you were going to pay for the drink as well, but they paid for it. It's actually quite wholesome there at the end. Once again, though, it's nowhere near as, I guess, poignant a point you're making when you demand apologies from them or don't accept their apologies when you don't even apologize for using the fucking N-word.
We should be able to go places and not have to worry.
We should be able to go places and not have to worry. I think black people should probably be able to watch your streams and not have to worry about you using racist slurs. And at the very least, if you are to use a slur accidentally, fucking apologize for it. I genuinely wouldn't be harping on so much about this point if they genuinely just went, you know what, my bad for that, I meant to say nugget. I don't use that word in my everyday life, it just slipped out because I wanted to say nugget. It's like me personally, at least, I'd be like, you know what, fair enough, it very clearly was a mistake. Go on with your life, I guess. But when you are so demanding and unaccepting of other people's apologies to you when they misgender you, when you're not even willing to fucking apologize after saying a slur like that, I genuinely do feel as though it is wildly hypocritical. Am I missing something here that disproves me or makes me ignorant in some way? Because I really do feel as though I'm making a point here.
One of the things that folks with PCOS struggle with is hair, right? Specifically hair on your face. And girl, I feel you, because I struggle with the exact same thing.
I think women with PCOS struggle with a lot more than just hair on their face, but sure, go ahead, I guess. Like if I said, oh, everyone who's bound to a wheelchair, I know exactly how you feel, because every now and then I wake up with pins and needles in my legs and I can't feel them properly. It's like, yeah, alright, mate, just fucking calm down, you know.
Wait. I have a really important announcement. I promise this will take 2 seconds, okay? You ready? They bounce. Am I right?
Alright. We're done. The video's done. Yeah, I just don't know how we can continue after that. So, yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed this video. You definitely didn't enjoy that fucking last TikTok, but whatever, right? Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was a bit more of a rambly one, but there's a lot of stuff that I feel as though I wanted to say because there's a lot of questions that I have and a lot of things that I truly haven't decided on yet. So hopefully in the comments you can help me out with that and we can have a real genuine discussion here because I think I really like that. I would urge people not to be dicks or like arseholes or so strongly opinionated that you resort to name calling or insults. I would genuinely love to have a healthy dialogue or conversation about this in the comments. I'll be responding to a lot of people, so yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.